At first, we only fought and frustrated each other. It's so strange that all of a sudden our hearts connected. I miss you like crazy. Because of you, my heart goes thump, thump. This was from the song Heartbeat, Jung's favorite, and it reminded Doko Jin of her. The first time they met, they bickered like two 5-year-olds. She leaned on his van, pretending it was hers. Then they got into a fight. Their second encounter was even messier. She asked him to apologize for his rude behavior the other day. He apologized, but then asked her to return the scarf he had given her earlier. They had an accident when Jung was running away from him, and Dukojin got hurt. They annoyed each other like crazy, but now, suddenly, he could hear his heartbeat whenever she was around. He remembered the moment he witnessed her being slapped by her former manager. She cried, and as he stared at her, his heart started racing. That scene stuck in his mind, and he couldn't help but seek her revenge. At first, he was confused by how his heart was reacting. What the hell was happening to him? He didn't want to accept that what he felt was love. He even went for a checkup. After all, he had a history of heart disease. But there was nothing wrong with him. He convinced himself the fast heartbeat was just sympathy. Yeah, I wouldn't get jealous if I saw her with another man. Haha, it's not love, he thought. But he did get jealous. When she attended a couple matching show and he saw her with another man, his heart went crazy. He realized he liked her. Doko Jin, a top A-list actor, had always been on top of the world, arrogant and proud. Jung, a former singer with rumors surrounding her, was at rock bottom, struggling to revive her career. But despite their different worlds, he started falling for her. He thought confessing his feelings would end his struggle. After all, he was Doko Jin. There was no way he could get rejected, right? Do you like me? Ding dong. Don't you feel honored, and isn't your heart shaken by my confession? He asked. I feel honored, but I'm not shaken, she replied. He couldn't believe his own ears. She rejected him and left. That night, Doko Jin lost his mind and did a series of ridiculous things. He chased her car, stopping her just to tell her a crazy story about a perfect guy who offered a potato to a stupid village girl, and when she rejected it, he started torturing his chicken. I'm looking for your chicken! Ha ha ha! Jung was confused by his words and actions. What did he want? Revenge? No, he wanted to impress her. From that day on, he pestered her. He asked her to take part in his commercial, where she had to kiss him, making her incredibly nervous. He invited her to a movie, trying to win her over. But most of his attempts left a bad taste for both of them. He'd do something that fluttered her heart, but then his arrogance or recklessness would ruin the mood. I will never like you, she said and left. He tried complimenting her, but she thought he was mocking her, and asked him to close his mouth. Then he got jealous when he found out that Pilju, her co-star in the couple matching show, had lent her a pen that meant a lot to him. Would he get mad if you lose it? I think so. He threw away the pen. Then he felt guilty and searched for it. Dukojin even spent 10 million on buying Jung's shoes at an auction, competing with Pilju for them. To save her from the ensuing rumors, he had to appear before reporters, claiming he was the one who bought them. Then he gifted the shoes to her. My heart is in your hands. It's in pain. You can crush it by getting close to that Pilju guy if you want, but please don't. His actions and words began getting through to her. She started developing feelings for him, but as she was processing those emotions, Doko Jin came to her and said, I was hypnotized. It wasn't you who made my heart race. It was the song you sang, the one you use as your ringtone. Heartbeat had played many times when they were together, when she was slapped, when she danced, and when she drove him home. His doctor used to listen to that song. Even when he was operating his heart, he had listened to that song. When he found out, he thought the song had hypnotized him. Now I'm free! He told the story to Aijung, and she got taken aback. He even teased her. Hearing that I don't like you disappointed you, right? Ha ha ha. But soon he realized that she was hurt. He felt a pang in his heart. Feeling guilty, he brought her a bottle of wine. I felt better after drinking this. You should try it too. To his surprise, she downed the entire bottle. The next morning, he picked her up and they ate breakfast together. Aijung said she was happy his heart wasn't in pain anymore, but she couldn't hide her own feelings. Thanks for always being honest with me. I want to be honest too. My heart is shaken by you, she admitted. Doko Jin could feel his heart racing, but when he looked at the monitor in his hand, it showed a normal heartbeat. It's normal. I'm glad to hear that, she said, and left. He started to count his own heartbeat. Darn it, how could he trust that counter? His heart was beating like crazy. He chased after her, but when he saw her holding Pilju's hand as part of the show, it hurt him. He sat sadly in his car in front of Aijung's house. Suddenly, her nephew came and startled him. He invited him inside the house, and they waited for her. She arrived. She was shocked to see him. That night, she did her best to ignore him. And Doko Jin didn't know how to apologize. Later, Doko Jin started experiencing sharp chest pains. His manager rushed him to the hospital where he learned that his heart disease had returned. The news left him staring into the void, but he wouldn't let himself give up. I'm Doko Jin. I'm going to survive this, he resolved. He didn't tell anyone except his manager. On the day of an award ceremony, he complimented Aijung and wished her good luck. But just before the ceremony began, he heard she'd been hurt. He found her, and though she assured him she was fine, he soon realized her former manager had spilled coffee on her. He couldn't let that go unpunished. He confronted him. Aijung heard what he did and knew it was for her. She went to his house, and when she saw him, he simply hugged her, saying, "Let me recharge." Aijung was starting to feel his affection again. She wanted to return his feelings but feared hurting him. She was disliked by many people. Dating her would ruin his career. His company even warned her. She decided to push him away. She asked Doko Jin to watch a movie with her. Wait for me near my house. Will you come? She didn't say yes. He waited for her, and she showed up hand in hand with Pilju. He looked at them with sad eyes. Aijong entered the house and started crying. Pilju was hurt seeing her like that. He had sent you this message earlier. You need to see it, he said, showing her the message before leaving. Aijong looked at it. The message said he was growing the potato she had bought for him. He said he was waiting for it to bloom. She went outside and found him asleep in his car. She looked at him sadly. Suddenly, he woke up, shocked to see her. Stupid Doko Jin, recharge, she said sadly. He took her hand, then he kissed her. And from then on, they started dating. There were big obstacles in their way, Doko Jin's illness, which he survived. But when people saw their love for each other, they began to support them. In the end, they got married and lived happily ever after. The Greatest Love is a comedy romance drama and one of my favorite K-dramas. I can watch it over and over again. Doko Jin is my favorite character, and his struggles to make Aijung love him back created many funny scenes I thoroughly enjoyed. If you like dramas in this genre, I highly recommend watching it. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.